Everybody, so let me go check my audio briefly. I gotta see. Oh, great latency. So this will be the 4th celebration special of Final Fantasy VII. Many of you remember I've been doing this since 2023, since this game had a national holiday for it. So we're just gonna get into it. There's a couple things I want to do. I played this game on PC back in the summer and early autumn. Let me change something really quickly. This is a little too loud for my liking. I didn't know this game was going to be so loud, but I gotta change out that weapon for Barret because it's not advantageous for this upcoming fight. I'll worry about the enemy skills later on. Now, different forests have different spawn rates for the party member I'm looking for at the present moment. Let me use 1 tent. Okay, there you go. Equipment, Barret, let's... Let me look at his materia briefly. So, he has an all materia that's attached to nothing. Let me swap him out for the cannonball. So I do want to swap out the menus for the Final Fantasy X like battle menu, like in the PS2 version. I had it for like the main menu scheme in one of my other files, but I'm trying to remember something. Exchange, okay. I'm trying to see if we have a second enemy skill materia. I don't remember where the second one is found. Nice crit. It might seem like I'm being goofy, I'm just messing around, but there is a method to my madness here. Let me take a look really quickly now. I'm curious if there's like a better forest where I can like find what I'm looking for. Okay. So that's Junon over there. That's gonna be one of our goals for the session. I was excited for a moment. I saw Tifa. I thought it was the girl we were looking for. Remember, we got ATB priority, so let's get it. I gotta stock up on Phoenix Downs. Whip. I gotta put him back with his assault gun. That's wiggity wackio, but whatever. I like that name, Choco Mog. I know that wasn't the intention of the writing staff, but just the Chocobo is mogging you. I'll be real with you, I kind of prefer how Yuffie joins your party in Remake, because this is a bit much. Although, if I did go to like a better forest, let me see. Back shots. That's an interesting thing about summoning I didn't consider. Even if you get caught from behind, they're always in the front. We toss an EFO here. Let's move on to this one. See if it improves our chances. see. Uh-oh. Let's go over to Fort Condor. I guess we got beef with the same guys, and the enemy of my enemy is my friend. That's cool and all, but I'm trying to get that in. Alright, I'll hop on. So I guess this is a free in if you're not quite ready for Junon, but backtracking and dealing with the Midgar Zolom is too much of a risk. And there's still a little bit of an attrition element to these older games. Not much of one, though. Okay, Barret is cured of his fury element. I kind of liked him getting a bunch of limit breaks, but I'm good with this. Let's get a couple of these, 2 of these. save just in case because I'm a little paranoid. And just for fun, I guess I'll do the Fort Condor minigame. It's kind of an RTS. Or tower defense. Tall globes. Bunch of gibberish. Get the fuck out of my channel. Okay, attacker. Defender. And shooter. I was waiting on this track. This is the Fort Condor music that you hear in Remake a lot. Okay, beats. Attack. So as you can see, it's a mismatch in our favor. Okay, I muted it. Take one last hit. Surprised you held your own for such a long time. Now we got all this territory, let's switch to catapults. I'll just have them all converge on this boss enemy. This first one is easy. It's just kind of meant to like wean you in on the systems. Of course, this is a mismatch, but Well, so yeah, I blew out the bank a little with that one, but you will get periodically updated with the side quests. So after every major story beat, it's best to revisit this place, but most of the time you're only gonna do this in one more instance, and that's when it's story mandatory. Although you don't have to succeed. Okay, I see where I need to go. At least I think I do. Not as scary as he looks. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. I gave her CTE. Okay, I messed up on that one. So we'll do the sequence trigger by ear. It's interesting how the limit break grind in this game reminds me a lot of the death blow grind in Xenogears. I think towards the end, the limited break grind is a little bit more tolerable than the death blow grind. I always like Barret's like pain animation. Like, it always looks like whatever he's getting hit with is the most painful thing on the planet. Whereas Cloud kind of just recoils. It's kind of inevitable that she would get something like that. Try to get Barret in on some of these kills. Just in case, let me talk some Macho magic. So he's gonna get a lot of bodies after this one. When I was playing this on PC not too long ago, I actually tried to get Crim Hazard to see if it would actually work better against the boss I was fighting, Rufus. Because remember, I used Blade Beam on him and that kind of ended the fight on the fly. I don't really think Crim Hazard did that much better. Barret has such a good limit break for a starter. Let me take a look at this dude's. So he has a grenade bomb right now. Let me switch over to that. I'm gonna hold off. Okay, as soon as I see that behind the back angle, I know we got it. CT. So yes, there's still that music glitch that happens when you go through some weird happenings and the modules, so it's silent now. There's no such thing as a perfect version of the original Final Fantasy VII. Some people really love Eidos PC version just because you can mod the hell out of that, and some people really like the PS1 version because of the 60 FPS menus. Nice crit. So, first thing I should do, now that we have a new party member, I'm taking Tifa out, because we're gonna really want a long-range fighter. Carbon bangle. Protects against poison. Materia, let's see, what would be good for you? Restore, no. Just jack all your stuff. So because she is a long-range fighter, you can put her on the back row. So that's what I'm gonna do. This was not fun to go through in the PC version of the game from Eidos, but now that we're gonna get a new version, I really expect it to be this FF7, the Eidos version. And that's no offense to the devs at Eidos, because I know they were rocking with some difficult code and they did not have PlayStation 3, 4, and 5 controllers in mind when they were designing this. I've never played an Eidos game. I tried to boot up Tomb Raider because I saw a disc of it, but it was so scratched up and it had like Coca-Cola and General Tso chicken stains. Because I don't know what my Pops does to his controllers, but yeah, it was full of duck sauce and soy sauce and hot sauce, mango, chicken sauce, whatever. I mean, so this is Priscilla. I like how they say that like it's on gang. One thing I like about Yuffie is that if you have her join your party really early on, or even later on, there's just this air of familiarity with her that just comes across as anachronistic. But it works with her character because she has no boundaries. So right here, she gets knocked the fuck out. She should be like dead, like water should be flooding her lungs and her brain should be like DMX in his last days. Okay, so let's toss a Moxra Magic, Chocomog, and Steel. Okay, so you're broke. Should've let me know that before I... What was thinking about it? So you get unique attack animations. It's important to use magic to like break the barrier. I guess I did that wrong. It was something. So just like how Reno, you had to attack your trap party members to get them out of that situation. You're supposed to use like magic, but okay, so I'm about to sustain my first game over. Now there is a good strategy that I can use right now, but I think I'm gonna abstain from it. went a little too hard with that one. So that's how the spell works. Okay, that's an important strategy I neglected. You can actually poison this motherfucker. It's a good thing I had fucking bio, cause otherwise that would be a botched fight. So people were very skeptical about this scene, how it was going to be adapted in Rebirth, or if it was going to be adapted at all, considering the fact that Priscilla is so young. But they ended up swapping it out with Yuffie, which is funny because Yuffie is also like really young. It's just that it's at like a pearl clutchy age. So I don't think this is a mini game that you can fail, like you mess up and she straight up dies, but this really does feel like if this was just Final Fantasy VI, that would be a possibility. They would kill her off and then make Cloud feel guilty about it. I've never seen lungs symbolized in this way. That's what it feels like going to the Hudson River. Anyway. I always laugh when people say, man, I never had a reason to use status ailments in Final Fantasy VII. So many of the status ailments saved my ass in Final Fantasy VII. So this is diegetic. This is not just the OST playing for ambiance. This music is actually playing because of a parade in honor of Rufus Shinra's inauguration. Get a couple tents. Grenades are still useful in this juncture of the game, so I'll get like 10 of them. It's so interesting because while Junon Underground is kind of nasty in FF7 Rebirth, you could still have like a lot of fun in the sun. Like Junon is really designed around this kind of microcosm of what Midgar was kind of designed, where instead of a plate, it's an elevator that separates the well-off and those that are really suffering because of Shinra. They really do not want to get electrocuted, and you know, I can't blame them. This looks like a Bob Ross painting if Bob Ross was mad as hell. That's all it takes. Just press square twice. Some people really get stuck on this, but you don't gotta get stuck on any of this shit at all. Man, do I love this FMV. The FMVs where they're still chibi and Lego-like, but their surroundings are realistic as hell, man. Cinema. So there you go, that's the high winds. I will say, even though I prefer how you recruit Yuffie in Rebirth, I also just like how brisk the pace of this section is. So pushy, man. It's a good thing they found something his size, but then again, soldiers are twinkified a lot of times. You know what, this explanation is not doing anything for me, so let's just get up out of here. It's so interesting how UK like this complexes. So I don't really care about doing well on this one. I think you get like an HP up or an MP up. I'll be so real with you. I'm glad I don't have to trophy chase. My nose is burning like crazy, so hold on. These interactive FMVs, they're cool too. Incredibly trippy though. Now you're wondering like where you are in all of this. here. It's so weird how so you get a grenade if you do especially bad. My headcanon is that this guy was like a soldier before soldier was a thing. When Shinra security was also in charge of combat drills and shit. That's why he's like so heavy-handed. I mean, he's a general, so he has like some military experience by nature. This was so ass in the Eidos PC version. You have no idea, man. That's one thing I miss from like the older games is like the victory poses. Like you still see it in 7, remake when you're doing those data sim battles, combat sims. I like how they kind of show him from the shoulders first. So he's kind of towering, hunkering over everyone. It makes you go, okay, what's this guy doing? I really want to check it out. The momentous occasion, you have ship sails. What is going on with you? Okay, those revived materials are important. You can get away with quite a bit in terms of like what you don't obtain, but having like the ability to revive without needing Phoenix Downs is critical anyway. So I don't really have the money for all of this now, but it ain't nothing but a thing. I remember that one dude that likes to talk about like Final Fantasy VII Remake compared to E3 Free. He was like, man, this is like the whole situation in Rebirth with the Bald People Club was too over the top for him. That's where like his statements and some of his critics can get a little annoying because they're both taking extreme, like, they have the same gag here. They just don't go 1998 Family Guy with it. You see the bald-headed dudes and they're wiping the top of their domes and you get the pattern. But it's not the same. Oh man, the humor is just ridiculous. It's in the execution. If he had said that, I would have been okay. It's just the extreme of insisting that Final Fantasy VII was very sparse with its humor when humor is kind of baked into the narrative. It uses levity quite a bit, especially because it's trying to like counteract all the grit that it has. Oh, this training zone. So this is what I was looking for. There's 4 enemy skill materias, and you want at least 2 of them on you. Preferably free, because then everybody can just have it and you can just nuke bosses. This is another beginner's hall. It was promised that you would have one after Midgar, but this is the fulfillment of said promise. (1/35th scale) for people that might be confused as to what that means. Square does a lot of ridiculous merch like that, by the way. Have you ever seen people talk about, oh, I got a 1-to-1 scale of this action figure? That means it's the height of how tall a character would actually be. Should be a waste of space and money, but let me see. There's some other dude I'm trying to look for. Okay. I know there's something I'm missing out on. I just don't quite know where. There's a young cat. Man, I bought a revive. That should cover your rent for the month. In all honesty, it's kind of best if you go back here after handling all your business. So I'll run it out here. There's a particular clerk shop I'm looking for. Let me think. Okay, I'll save at least. Not here though, not here. So this is, yes, there's gotta be another staircase somewhere. I think. So this is a living section. Okay. Let me talk to this guy. Oh, he's studying. There's a glitch people use to get over-leveled around here, but I don't really see the point in getting over-leveled in your Final Fantasy VII game. Oh, this is it. This is what I was thinking about. They really want to make Song unavailable. So this is an N. He kind of looks like John Travolta. But if someone decided to turn John Travolta into a Lego, I remember Tim Rogers was like, wow, in like a Bugman-y voice. When I heard that, like he just said something terrible. What is happening to our millennial population? We could really benefit from that. I wonder what the function for that is. Okay, I feel like I'm boxing. Okay. So they got a cheaper weapon shop. You know what? I'll put that for Aerith because I didn't get the weapon she needed in Calm, so this is kind of the next best thing. It's probably the same itinerary as well. I gotta remember I'm not playing the PC version from Eidos, so I don't have to worry about getting every single materia, every single enemy skill, maxing everything out. I already got the platinum for this joint. I'm not gonna hate too hard on the Eidos version. Well, I will, but I wanted that one because I wanted something that was slightly different. There was like a novelty to it. That was so hard in the PC version. I finessed that. I like how Cloud is still on alert, he's not at ease. This dude is seething. Chrono Cross came out 2 years after this. I can tell they really wanted to like flex. We can do water graphics much better now in 3D. I gave drugs to a 16-year-old. Someone needs to lock this protagonist up. There's some like foreshadowing with that dialogue, but it's ironic foreshadowing. Back when I played this on the PS1, I had a different opinion because in the translation, he says something a little bit more abstract, like power. Okay, so we spent a lot on Phoenix Downs, so I gotta make a correction. So here you see Red 13 doing the cat daddy. It's on purpose, you say that and then all of a sudden you see the tail. Yeah, again, going back to Sebi Libs, it's like, I get having like a Yu-Gi-Oh card tournament filler arc here is a bit much, where Red 13 goes into like a Family Guy dance routine. But they already had like goofy shit. It's just the humor has shifted to like this K-pop stuff. I'll describe the humor in Final Fantasy VII Remake as like the humor that like conventionally attractive people get away with. Like if you don't look like the type of person people get plastic surgery to look like, you can't do that humor. Because people won't laugh. So, I remember being stuck on the sequence trigger last time. I would say it's like ugly or goofy looking motherfuckers and like handsome looking motherfuckers, they gotta have like different types of humor for them. Like if you're funny regardless, but there's certain things where you got a little bit more of a bag on you. People will laugh at what you're saying if you look a certain way. I think that's why FF7 and Yakuza both have that kind of K-drama style humor. It's because it is kind of trying to be a live-action adaptation, but in video game form. They got the fake quirky Chungus humor. Aoife, let's go. So, off the jump, let me give this guy a better weapon. I gotta ditch long range, but you know what? I don't need long range anymore because I'm not fighting materia keeper. So order, let me put you in the front. Okay, so what should I give you? Restore. I should have been had it like this. Okay, so after that. I need to give someone a revive. This guy's still hitting the cat daddy. Putting too much pressure on my leg. You could have said that in a better way, by the way. Please don't use the word seamen to describe us. Let me speak to Tifa. She's acting like she's paranoid and high as shit. I'm gonna go back to using the analog stick. It's very tempting to use the D-pad, but actually in this room you want the analog stick. Okay, that's a sequence trigger. You gotta speak to Aerith, and then she's like, hey, where's Barret? Like, Phineas when he's speaking to Fur about where's Perry. And then this guy gets out the way. I'll be real with you, Shinra is easy to infiltrate. This does not feel like the same competent Shinra from the Midgar section. Who do I want with me? I'm gonna take Yuffie and I'm gonna take Aerith. Honestly, the only reason to upgrade her weapons is because you want more materia slots with her. I'm gonna give you 4 slots just because I need the materia slots, straight like that. Okay. Chocomog. Cover. Fire. Elemental. Let me see. Let's get that materia that's scattered on the floor. Another all, so that's important for like money. What do I want from you? Hey, you finish it off. So this is an important item you can steal from these guys. I'm gonna try to take at least one. Do I have an item that can put this guy to sleep? I think I saw something like that. Tranquilizer, rubber ball. This guy's on his last legs, but I gotta keep him alive to just keep doing. Fantastic! Okay. Did not mean to heal you, Cloud. Okay. You know what? Okay. Oh, these guys use ice. That might not have been a smart idea. Let me use monster magic instead. So Nomuda specifically wanted this spell to start with her feet in focus, because usually when you're about to see something like big from someone, the camera points to his feet. Like, who could that be? What are they about to do? And this is the first like cool summon. You got Chocomog in the beginning, but that's kind of silly. We got double now. Oh, well, I didn't have her with anything support based, so that works actually. Actually, having Choco Mog would have been really advantageous for this upcoming boss fight, because she is resistant to stop. Well, I'm not resistant, vulnerable to it. So it's important to note this first confrontation with Sephiroth, he doesn't remember who Cloud is, but that doesn't mean that it's Jenova, like some people say. He's been dead and kind of out of it with things. And Cloud is sort of a whatever dude, even though that was the guy that killed him. He didn't have like a personal relationship with Cloud. He was kind of like a basic Shinra grunt. Toss grenades now. Let's see how much a regular attack does. It actually does a little bit more than a grenade, so... That does a little bit more, but it could just be a difference in how you roll. What you want to watch out for is that group laser attack he does. It's not quite Guard Scorpion levels of devastating, but... Nova has a bag. Nah, actually give us a summary. Don't leave just yet. Get this materia because it is missable. I don't really care for visibility, so here, put this on. Beats me. Like, I played this game before and I don't even know the answer. Like, how many times by now? To completion 3 times. So for my PC playthrough, I actually learned a really important lesson here, which is that if you want to get the full enjoyment from Costa del Sol, you don't actually go to the end first things first, because then it kills all the sequence triggers. I actually learned how to play this song on guitar because I was looking up this genre of music, and this track plays. It's not a song, it's a composition. There's no singing, of course. It looks like you don't know how to land that thing. Put that shit in the water before you hurt yourself. I know he's seething. He's getting his ass chewed out by someone half his age. That's gotta sting. Oh, wow. Let me go to another room. The music glitches are so ass in this. So this is really important right here. Power source, motor drive. Shinra beta. Man, you are a Shinra beta anyway. So it kills off your magic defense, which if you were playing the PlayStation 1 version where magic defense doesn't even work, it's not really that big of a deal. These like stats being glitched to be ineffective is one of the reasons why I wouldn't mind a remaster report of Xenogears, actually. So this is Mookie, not the blonde one. I do feel disappointed that we don't have Mookie in remake, but at the same time, everyone thinks that Mookie is on some Puffy Diddy stuff. He's not, but they misinterpret the scene with him and Cloud. I like those moments where you can just be an asshole. This is a mistranslation. He knows that you were, well, he knows the story you tell that you were in Soldier. That's about it. He wasn't in Soldier. That would open up a whole can of worms. Okay, this is the scene right here. Should I go with the neg? Fuck it, I'm gonna go with the neg. So they kind of expanded on this with like a big Crisis Core reference in Rebirth, but not really that long. You've been probing this motherfucker for ages. They really expanded on the relationship between Aerith and Hojo in Remake, so I don't think they'd have this casual conversation unless Aerith was stone cold badass in OG. I mean, I know she did grow up as an experiment in Shinra, but they really expanded on that joint. You know, like Shinra headquarters, the lab and stuff. He's gonna stonewall us. Oh, he's using a lot of English proverbs, so I guess he's trying to learn the general language, whatever that would be. Yeah, it'd be best to have some softs, but I'm feeling kind of frugal at the moment. Why is he shooting the fucking air like a guy who's trying to make sure the rent is low in his neighborhood? Okay, so I missed that scene with Hojo and kicking the soccer ball into Red 13's head. All because I rested at the inn first. So if you really care about your fun sequence triggers, that's an important trap and pitfall not to get yourself into. See, again, the music is glitching. I think it's gotten worse. Like, back when I would play the PlayStation 4 version, it wasn't this bad. But I think they just kept patching this up after Remake and Rebirth came out. I mean, I'll take it. I'll take it. This is ice you out. I love it. Let's see if free. Because has like a recursion element to him, that's why you get that death sound effect where it's layered, because within him are other enemies. I guess they're compiled, but one is inside the other, so that's actually what it is. But I usually do so much damage and never deal with that nonsense. So at this point, Rebirth is kind of my favorite section still. That doesn't change until we get to the end of the Corel arc, even in Gold Saucer. Tremendous. Anyway. Back in the day, I would grind to tell him back to get beta, but I realized that's not necessary because the next two story bosses can all be one-shot without the need for beta. You can go into that reactor, but there's nothing of value there. So one thing I like about Final Fantasy VII is that we get to see this type of freak. Which we don't get to see for maybe like 8 more games, because they replace him with the Chester Cheeto, like furry of freak. His demonic form, this is the last time we'll see it in quite some time. Maybe we see it in 9 too, but 9 is what it is. Let me tilt it up a little. Okay. I get that ether. I could have used a tent as well, but I think I'll save that tent for later. So I want to get all of these items. Let's go, wizard staff. I think this is the first time we see Shiva portrayed with long hair, which is how she gets portrayed for a long time after this. Up until now, Shiva's had like short, kind of curly hair. Don't do it. Speaking of which, let me... Okay, so... That takes away the revive all ability, but I get doubles, so... That's gonna be good for my all. It's gonna be so nice when I get access to better blue magic, because then I can just field wipe them with that instead of these summons. It's much more effective. And satisfying for that matter, but... Turbo Ether... Transform. That's gonna be handy and dandy for situational moments. Let me make my way downtown. So you can swap party members if you'd like, but I think I'm good for now. There's a certain enemy I'm trying to run into. Okay, we got a couple softs, that's great. Kind of like how the glow of the eyes is the last thing you see of them before they fade out. I know it has that real D 3D look. That can be a little funny, but not real deep 3D, but real 3D, like, you know, those ironic animations from the YouTube days. When there was no, like, rendering or proper lighting, but there's an edge to it that I find cool. Bow plume. I gotta sort all these items. Pensa, okay. Damn. Clim hazard. So I use that on Rufus in my PC run. They call it Ascension and they add like some preceding hits to it in Remake and Rebirth. It's Clim hazard. Fuck. Oh, hell no, I'm going through like crazy drift. I never had that type of controller drift before. That's actually not drift, because that's not from like an analog stick. Let me see. Wonder what that was. But yeah, I accidentally used a cheat right there, but I'll be real with you, it doesn't really matter. I'm trying to get a specific encounter. It might be in another screen too, so I gotta keep that in mind. So next year's celebration special might actually be my last celebration special for this game. For the simple reason that Part 3 will come out, and after Part 3 comes out, I'm going to be playing this game. After I'm finished with my playthrough of Part 3, that is. So I figure I should show this much. You're kind of faced with a moral dilemma here. Leave it where it is, because it's not anything of value, trust me. You're gonna feel like shit when you kill their mom or whatever. So the reason I use a lot of like summon nukes is so that I can get a lot of like kills on one character. That unlocks the next level in the limit break. In reality, it's a mechanic that I only have to worry about with one other upcoming character. And we're not going to see him in any of the celebration specials. Because he's got a little bit of Haru syndrome. Let me take a look at Oh, I remember this room. I'm jacking all your shit. So effectively, he's out of work. How dare you treat me like you've been eating watermelon? Okay. Spitting watermelon seeds at me. I think this is the room. Or a screen where I could run into them. Yep. So the whole time I just needed to be in a different screen. Okay, damn shawty, okay. Do you still get EXP? Nope. You know, it really doesn't matter. I just wanted that right arm. Oh, you still want it? Healer. Oh, I got Rufus as my fucking tank. That's so wrong. I gotta change that out just because it makes me look like I don't know how to play the game. Which, not that far from the truth. Let me get another one for the road. I'm gonna let him hit me. And I'm just gonna go crazy. Yep. Ice 2. Shiva. So he gets like instant ATB priority. Maybe that's just if you use ice-based attacks. Oh, excuse me for being strategical then. Every time someone gets upset in this game because of the limited art style, they just start running away. So it reminds me of like cartoons where a guy like starts running and crying and shit. You know how people cry in SpongeBob? I also think of that Friday movie, he won't cry in the car. Why are you black but your grandpa is full-on Caucasian? Oh, there's a story there. Okay, whatever. So the grandma is the only one with any sense not to like scapegoat Barret. Owning a car is such a big deal in this game, in this universe, I should say. Let's get a couple of those. What do you have that's worth anything? Force Stealer. So, because I did well with the marching routine, I was able to get this for free, but Molotovs are good, but I got 2 right arms. I really don't need anything more than that. I like how they added stuff from the expanded universe and Rebirth with regards to the doctor that patched up Tifa and the one who fixed Barret's arm being in this very town, but this is my favorite FMV in the entire game, and it's one you can access at any point, which is great. On top of that, they gave Myrna a design that kind of matches Aerith's colors. I remember Unseen 64 showed a lot of beta footage of FF7, and there was a town that was explorable that looked just like this. In fact, in the Ultimania, for like the artwork, I saw like a 2D version of the town that looked like this. Dyne kind of looks like a Wild Arms character. He kind of reminds me of Rudy. See, everybody was with Barret on this, kind of giving Dyne an intervention like he's a drug addict for not wanting to lose his job, but now they're all blaming Barret and treating him like the scapegoat. With that said, coal, of course, is non-renewable. It's not forever, and it is toil, but you did get the nest. Mako energy also has some negative repercussions, and Shinra is not someone you want to make a deal with. I will say I don't like how Before Crisis adds details with the Avalanche terrorist organization kind of being responsible for why Shinra thought Corel was up to something and burned it down, especially because Barret actually knows about this and still joins Avalanche anyway. The compilation is so messy. There's continuity issues within itself, not just with OG. Like Remake and Rebirth have continuity issues within each other. Hell, Remake and Intergrade sometimes have continuity issues going back to back. I realize Shinra is what people who don't like the idea of anarcho-capitalism think anarcho-capitalism would be like. That just takes me back. I remember when I had them goofy-ass beliefs. Because if you think about it, there aren't really any city or nation states in this. It's just that Shinra headquarters is a de facto ruler of everything. But yes, this joint right here, like, not specifically this part, but the transition, that's my favorite F&B in this. Probably my favorite F&B in the entire series. This one as well. The way it switches from 3D to pre-rendered 2D is kind of cool. Okay. I was kind of hoping to sign off at this point, but looks like that ain't happening anytime soon, boo. So Gold Saucer is going to be a place that you're visiting quite often during the end game and even post game section because there's just so much content. It's almost infinite. Yeah, everyone's currently walking on eggshells because of Barret except for Aerith. Because she actually thinks it'd be better if the ice is broken a little bit. I remember Tim Rogers he understood subtext for this one section, but then completely drops it for everything else, man. Man, I remember his whack-ass translation. That started off so fire, too. And then it turned into NyQuil, DayQuil, PainQuil. Okay, so... I always take... Aerith with me. So this is Ketchi. He's most people's least favorite party member in this, and by the way, it is Ketchi. I don't care how it's localized in Rebirth. This track almost sounds like it belongs in, you know, Final Fantasy VIII. Like Delling City kind of sounds like this. Same with Timber. Was it Timber or was it that other one with the television? Heart of Anxiety is playing, so you know some bullshit is about to go down. Although because I'm skipping through a lot of sequence triggers, that means that we don't get some essential dialogue with Dio that kind of fleshes out what this place is about. Because there is like a keystone item around here that's gonna be like relevant to the story. But I'm just trying to get to a save point. I don't really care about the exposition. He kind of doesn't need to. His sword is so long it might as well be a gun. I'll be real with you, if someone is suspicious of something and the suspicion is drawn to you, running away is probably one of the worst things you can do. But if they're crazy and they're gonna get like violent without trying to hear you out, I could understand it. But Dio is just engaging in plot-induced stupidity. Welcome to the hood, baby. So yes, just like Midgar and Junon, they have the motif of luxury being placed over struggle. I know one person kind of makes a big deal of the fact that in the original game, this was the town, whereas the corral that you see now is kind of what's been built around the entryway to Gold Saucer, and it's kind of an improvisation of the town. No proper culture is built around it. There's a couple of things I wanted to check out just because I figured it'd be relevant. Generally, I like to avoid confrontation in this area because there's enemies that mug you, and once they take something from you, you really can't get it back once they run away, and they will try to run away immediately. Like, if they mug you and you get a quick kill after that, that's one thing, but it's just an unnecessary hassle. Anyway. I do like how dry this composition is. But in the original January 31st, 1997 version of this game, JPN only, not international, there was a special enemy you could fight in this room and only in this room as like a random battle. Yeah, I'm not chancing it. I'm coming for everyone's head. Okay, we got level 2 restore. I like that. I'm getting better magic. So that dude is chasing you around. He's not gonna do anything to you. He's just kind of being annoying. Okay, let's... I'll toss an ether on her later. At this rate, she's going to get her next level up, her limit break level soon. Now she's in her 20s. Toss some Aoife. Let me save Not there, not there. Usually I'll try to get Ketchy's final limit break. So the interesting thing about Ketchy is that he only has 2 limit breaks, dice and slots. And if you just use dice enough times, you unlock slots, and that's... You don't need a special item. He's kind of the first streamlined party member that you get in this. Now, there's another that you'll get real soon, but... I know there's some music glitch that happens in this scene, but let's not even get into it. See a little bit of his thumb. That's interesting. I like how Dyne recoils. See, even in a serious scene like this, there's a little bit of comic relief with how she just slapsticks like that. Giving out his... He did the I show speed reaction. They even gave him some ginger eyebrows to make it more emphatic. So Dyne is kind of warden of this area. He's not a prisoner. Carbon bangle. I'm playing the PC version. I realize there's some spots you can get to from here. Yeah, don't even chance it, like, kill them all. See, all leveling up right there is so good because all is one of the most expensive things you can just keep selling. I'll be frugal for now, actually. That one dude looks like Zack almost. He's got the same hairdo. He's just not as looks max. So you don't have to do what I'm about to do, but it just makes the story flow better. Let me charge this up real quick. So they changed this dude's name, but it's not just that. They gave him the same design and ultimately decided to call him Gus and say, oh no, this is a new character based off of Coates. I like how they kind of square up if you get too close. It's interesting, summons aren't really that good in boss fights yet because you can only use them one time. Until you level them up, then you get like an extra chamber, but for field battles, they're decent until blue magic takes over. Which, blue magic is one of the reasons why I like the materia system in this game so much. Because it prevents it from being a little too streamlined. Okay, so Breath of the Earth. I'll grind that up for a little bit and then move on to something better. You can get monster magic from these guys too, but this is why you want a group cure, because you never know who has like a field attack that can be devastating. I mean, one of those is not that bad, but if all three of them hit you with that, You're gonna want to heal as soon as you can. Let me chat with this guy. Don't go through the maze, just get to where you need to go like that. So this is one of my favorite parts of this game. I know a lot of people are critical of everything after Midgard but before Temple of the Ancients as being kind of episodic, but this is such a major moment for Barret's character arc. And the way it's handled here in the original is much better. Outside of that, I do prefer most of the Gold Saucer arc in Rebirth, but once it gets to like this Corel prison section, that's when I would agree with Sebi Webbs about the tonal consistency. Mind you, the next next two scenes focus more on Esther and the Chocobo races, so there is a little bit of whiplash, but you get enough fade to blacks with this moment right here. So this is interesting. Barret's arc is about letting go of revenge. But ironically, he's better off than Dyne because Dyne is just fueled with a nearsighted sense of emptiness that kind of makes him want to like engage in these random acts of violence. Barret can actually like hide behind like fake ideals, and he has a proper outlet for his aggression in terms of Shinra, but this guy just engages in stochastic violence. Or was it scotastic? Effectively, he's acting like a sleeper agent who's been activated. This is a lot of people's first game overs, but I'm gonna wrap it up like this. Sometimes he has a fuck you attack after you wipe out his health bar, but I was fresh, so it didn't really do anything. Believe me, he is a hard fight, especially if you're not well equipped with Barret. Now he does say something out of pocket about, hearing his wife's voice and possibly taking Marlene to his wife, which would mean killing Marlene, but I don't think he really means it. He's just trying to get Barret to fight him. So yeah, that is Marlene's actual father, biologically, but I don't think Marlene should see this man, considering he's... I guess he could be redeemable, but he's so far gone, and he knows it. At least the blood that Barret spills, even though it is self-righteous, there's some attempt at being righteous. There's some attempt at, like, doing right by somebody. So, in case you didn't know, Dyne is the boss, not Mr. Coates. Mr. Coates is kind of the second man. They mess with this arc a little bit too much when it gets to the Corel section, but at least they don't try to squeeze in story elements from Rocket Town in this, with the goofy-ass Palmer fight, and Dio flexing over a dead body. While Reno and Rude and Elena kind of make a funny man, straight man duo. You know, I always interpreted Esther as being an older woman because of the outfit. But Rebirth kind of elaborates on her design a bit because we get to see more of her face. And she is a youngin', but I guess she has one of them TikTok aesthetics. Where you try to look like a doll. I say that, but I'm probably gonna get my ass kicked a few times doing this. I like that you get to see the old big back computers. The CRT monitors. They try to give Joe a lot of aura and presence with this intro, but it reminds me of that old meme from back in the day. You hear that guy, he's hardcore. I heard he sucked dick for bus fare, and then he walked, and then the guy looks at you. So Rama. With that, we got the whole like elemental trio of black magic summons. They even got like a keyboard. Okay, I'll bite. Okay, you should really let it burst when you get near the end. Okay, I got fucked. I messed up. I got stamina mog. Oh well. So they kind of play the victory theme in the minor scale, which I think is funny. It reminds me of those like late 2010s memes when they would just play an iconic major scale track in the minor scale, and everyone would be like, "Why does this sound so menacing?" And I remember, oh yeah, not everyone knows like even basic music theory. This is also one of the few times you hear the victory theme that's like traditional. The victory theme in Final Fantasy VII, the initial melody is the same, but everything else is kind of fucky wucky. Okay, so no cutting. Oh no, you're too aggressive. You stop that. So sometimes how well you do is dependent on like the chocobo they give you. They'll give you different ones. See, the one I'm rocking with, he's fast, but he's a little too aggressive. So I had to slow him down before my stamina got drained completely. I like this, you can hear the voice of the planet. Just in case anyone wants to catch me slipping, nope, we're not doing that. I remember my younger bro saw this mini game. He's like, "What's the point? It practically plays itself." But you can see that there is like some strategical element because he made that easy. But if I let him do whatever he wanted, I would have lost. It's better to let him do what he wants in the beginning, so he can cut through that beginning traffic. Dio thinks he's some type of Sigma male, man. You gonna really do me like that and then apologize via letter? Oh well, at least I got a free whip. So off the jump, I want to do a little bit of backtracking, but let me get a kill off for Cloud, because I've been playing passively with him for a while. I realize Aerith has an edgy looking weapon now. So if you park in with the buggy, you can actually take it with you to Costa del Sol. The reason I didn't do this in the beginning when I got the fire ring is because at that time I didn't really have oh wow, this glitch is strong, by the way. You couldn't really use the cargo ship until after the Corel arc. Now off screen I will be trying to get some enemy skills, but there's one enemy skill in particular that I want to showcase. Just because obtaining it is really important. So I'm going to equip you with equip Now back in the day I used to over level way too much to try and get this as early as I can, and I feel like that destroyed a lot of the difficulty this game presents you with. But also at the time I was trophy chasing and I really had a different type of fun experience with this game than I do now, where again, trophy chasing and trying to experience getting overpowered. That was kind of the main thing I got out of this version of the game. Whereas now I like to use a lot of the speed run strats that I already know. Okay, that's one kill for you, Barret. There's a couple of cool abilities you can get just hugging the beaches and using the manipulate materia, but I'll get that off screen. The only thing I'm going to do on screen, there's actually another good ability around here too, but the enemy rarely drops. I feel like that ability hits way too close to home in more ways than one. Okay. Okay, bro. Nope, nope. Almost fucked up right there. The latency with the limit break gauge was really whacked out. I wonder if that's because of the 15 FPS. Okay, don't remove Barret. I like how he uses fire, but he's not resistant to fire, or he absorbs it. So I'm probably gonna off-screen some enemy skills, but aside from that, I'll see you next year with this game, and we'll go back to our regularly scheduled programming on Monday with Trails Beyond the Horizon. Aside from that, this has been your boy, Mr. Wonka7. Thank you guys for watching, and suck magic. Let's see.